There are moments in life when the weight of failure feels heavier than anything you have ever carried. Moments when you look at yourself and wonder if all the effort, all the sweat, all the sacrifices are even worth it. In those moments, quitting whispers in your ear like a sweet relief, offering you a way out, telling you that maybe this is not your path, maybe this is not your destiny. But deep down, you know something that the voice of doubt refuses to admit. If you quit, you will never know how far you could have gone. If you quit, you will never discover the greatness that has been waiting inside you all along. That is why you must hold on to this truth. Don't quit. It's possible. In football, as in life, every dream is tested. Every player, no matter how talented, faces moments of despair, setbacks, and pain. You can train for years, practice every single day, push your body and mind beyond their limits, and still face failure. You can miss penalties, lose finals, make mistakes that haunt you. And yet, the real test is not about winning or losing in that instant. The real test is whether you stand up after falling, whether you keep moving after the world pushes you down, whether you refuse to quit when the game seems impossible. Think about the legends of football. None of them reached greatness without sacrifice. None of them rose to the top without tears, without rejection, without heartbreak. Their highlight reels show us the goals, the victories, the trophies. But behind every shining moment is a mountain of pain. Behind every celebration is a history of nights where they almost gave up. What separates them is not luck, not magic, not even just talent. What separates them is persistence, the refusal to quit when everything around them screamed to stop. Don't quit, because quitting guarantees failure. Don't quit, because as long as you are in the fight, there is always a chance. Don't quit, because the impossible becomes possible only to those who keep going long enough to see it happen. When you quit, you shut the door on possibility. But when you stay in the game, even with bruises, even with exhaustion, even with doubt, you keep the door open. And one day, that door opens wide enough for you to step through into your victory. Football teaches us something very powerful. Pain can become power. Every missed shot teaches you precision. Every loss teaches you humility. Every injury teaches you patience. Every rejection teaches you resilience. The field is not just a place of competition. It is a school of life, shaping you into someone who understands that struggle is not the enemy. Struggle is the teacher. Struggle is the process through which potential becomes reality. But only if you don't quit. Your dream may feel far right now. Maybe you're sitting on the bench, waiting for your chance to prove yourself. Maybe you're training in silence while nobody notices. Maybe you're struggling with your own body, your own limits, your own doubts. And maybe the thought has crossed your mind, maybe this isn't for me. But I need you to understand, every great player once stood where you are. Every champion once carried the same doubts, the same fear, the same question. And every champion made the same decision. Don't quit. Because quitting is permanent, but pain is temporary. Fatigue passes, injuries heal, losses fade. But quitting lasts forever. Quitting carves regret into your heart, regret that will follow you long after the game has ended, long after the stadium lights have gone out. And no trophy, no applause, no future opportunity will ever erase that regret. But if you refuse to quit, if you keep pushing even when it hurts, if you give your all until the very last whistle, then no matter what the scoreboard says, you have already won. You have already proven to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts, greater than your fears, and more powerful than your circumstances. The game is always won in the mind before it is won on the field. If your mind quits, your body will follow. But if your mind refuses to quit, your body will rise to meet it. This is why mental resilience is the foundation of success. The body can be trained, the skills can be practiced, but the mind, that is where champions are made. You must train your mind to believe that anything is possible, to hold on to hope even when the situation looks hopeless, to keep fighting even when every muscle screams to stop. Because when the mind holds firm, the body finds new strength. And what is possible? Everything. The history of football is filled with stories of players who defied the odds, who came from nothing, who rose from poverty, rejection, injury, and impossibility to become legends. They had every reason to quit, but they didn't. And because they didn't, the impossible became possible. If they had given up, their names would have been forgotten. But because they persisted, their names are remembered, their legacies are written, their stories inspire. And you too can write your story. You too can inspire. You too can prove that it's possible. Life is not fair, and football is not fair. Some will have more resources, more support, more talent. But fairness is not the measure of possibility. Possibility is measured by resilience. Possibility is measured by the will to fight, to endure, to rise. You may not control what life gives you, but you control how you respond. You may not control how many times you fall, but you control how many times you rise. And that decision, to rise, to persist, to not quit, creates your destiny. There will be people who doubt you, people who say you are too small, too weak, too late, too far behind. There will be times when the noise of critics drowns out your own belief. But you must understand, doubt from others is powerless unless you accept it. Their voices mean nothing unless you allow them to become your own. Instead, listen to the deeper voice within you, the voice that knows you were made for more, the voice that refuses to surrender, the voice that whispers, "Don't quit. It's possible." Every time you step onto the pitch of life, remind yourself, this is not about being perfect. This is about being persistent. You don't need to win every game. You don't need to score every goal. You don't need to shine every moment. You only need to refuse to quit. Because persistence builds momentum, and momentum creates miracles. And one day, when you look back, you will realize that the very moments you wanted to quit were the moments that defined you. So, what is your dream? What is the game you are playing? It may not be football, but the principle is the same. Whether you want to be a doctor, an artist, an entrepreneur, or a leader, the truth remains. Don't quit. It's possible. Set your intention clearly, hold it with all your heart, and let that intention create the energy you need to keep going. When you wake up tired, when you feel lost, when you doubt yourself, return to your intention. Ask yourself why you started. Ask yourself what you are fighting for. And let that ignite your energy again. The impossible is only a word, a label given by those who quit too early. For those who refuse to quit, the impossible slowly becomes possible. Step by step, day by day, training after training, sacrifice after sacrifice. And then one day, the world will call you a miracle, but you will know it was not a miracle. It was persistence. It was intention. It was energy created by the refusal to quit. So today, promise yourself, I will not quit. Not when it's hard. Not when it's painful. Not when the world doubts me. I will not quit because it's possible. I will not quit because my dream deserves my persistence. I will not quit because my destiny is worth the fight. When the final whistle of your life blows, may you look back with pride, knowing you never surrendered, never gave in, never quit. May you stand tall no matter the score, because you gave everything, because you proved to yourself that possibility is born in persistence. Don't quit. It's possible. Always remember, the game is not over until you decide it's over. And as long as you keep playing, as long as you keep believing, as long as you keep fighting, then everything is possible.